ARC Seattle is on the road today, bringing the conversation straight to you.
Steve is out in the community, but before we reveal where he is, we want to know what you think. Where do you think Steve is? We asked on social media if you can guess where Steve is based on this photo right here. Let's take a look at what people are saying. All right, Patty's guessed Mount Vernon.
And this user writes, Skagit County, I hope.
All right, Steve, so where are you today? Tell us, did any of our viewers get it right?
I think just about everybody got it right. I was kind of hoping with those photos that we posted on social media yesterday and this morning that people would be thinking, you know, I'm out at a tasting room or grandma's garden or something, but we're out here at Tulip Town, of course, this morning celebrating the Skagit Valley Tulip Festival. And just look at all this color that we're surrounded by this morning. We've got reds, we've got yellows, pinks, combinations of the two. The water is trickling over there with the waterfall. We have windmills. We have some of the farmers that are out here looking at some of the tulips off in the distance. So we're going to talk with one of those farmers a little bit later in the show here this morning. But we wanted to come here just to celebrate the beauty that you see when you come to this area of our region this time of year during the Skagit Valley Tulip Festival. So this, of course, has been around for decades. Dutch immigrants founded Tulip Town decades ago, and then a new ownership group took over in 2019 when the previous owners retired. We're talking 6 acres of pristine land here, more than 50 varieties of tulips, and a lot of people will come through here over the next couple of weeks before the end of the Skagit Valley Tulip Festival just to take in the beauty. Obviously, you take a lot of pictures too when you're out here. I've already done that myself this morning. But yeah, we thought we would stump people with that picture yesterday. We had a photographer come out here on Wednesday to get some drone video that hopefully we'll be showing you or have been showing you sometime this morning. And that was the one picture where I thought maybe it wouldn't give it away. The others had a little bit more tulips in them, but good job to all you viewers. You basically were spot on this morning and the timing was just right. So good for you.
Steve, our viewers can't be stumped that easily when it comes to our Tulip Town. It looks like a nice serene morning out there. So I know you mentioned you're going to be talking with some farmers. Can you give us a rundown of the topics you'll be covering throughout the morning?
You know, obviously tulip related, so we're going to talk a little bit about Tulip Town and what goes into getting the acres ready here for all the flex of people that come in here throughout the month of April. Obviously, the Tulip Festival kicked off on April 1st, and it's going to end at the end of the month at April 30th. We're also going to talk with a farmer about what it takes to get all of these tulips ready and make sure that they're in pristine condition for all the people that come in here and take in this festival, and really just it's just so serene whenever you come out here. It's so calming, and I think this is what you would call not a bad day at the office, right? I mean, this is one of those assignments that you sort of wish for just because it's so relaxing.
Tough job.
Tough job. Steve, I've got to know.
Somebody's got to do it though, right?
Yeah, I want to know, is one of the tulips your favorite color?
You know what? I'm actually standing next to one of them, and I love the tulips where you kind of get a combination of colors. So if you kind of notice right here, these ones are kind of a combination of the red and yellow. So I love when you kind of get those two-tone colors. Same with roses too, but particularly with tulips as well. I love whenever you can get 2 colors in one. And as I mentioned, they have more than 50 varieties of tulips, which is just mind-boggling that there's so many of them to me. Another one is I also like, if Matt, you can pin over here for me, kind of have those pastel colors. So you see kind of those lighter pinks and lighter yellows. Those to me just kind of say spring.
Tyra, we got to get up there.
We do. We do. Steve beat us to it.
And Steve, he's joining us to continue the conversation. Steve, how is it out there? It looks just absolutely beautiful.
You know what? It is just breathtaking being out here. You can hear the birds chirping. We know that some of the farmers are looking over the tulips this morning before the crowd started arriving at around 9 o'clock this morning. I want to bring in Steve Johnson, who is the farm manager here at Tulip Town. Thank you so much for having us here this morning. This is a real treat.
Oh, well, you're welcome. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you very much. You've been doing this. I know that you're a longtime farmer who has very much deep roots here in the Skagit Valley, but you've been with Tulip Town for about 3 years, right?
That's right.
Tell me how you got involved with Tulip Town, and what is it like growing tulips on a yearly basis?
Well, my family got out of farming because all my partners are either retired or are deceased, and I wanted to keep going in agriculture, and it was more than one guy could do on the family farm. So I was kind of looking for something to do to stay in here, and fortunately these guys were looking for a new farm manager, and I applied and got the job, and here we are.
What do you like about it?
I mean, look around. What's not to like? I grew up here, and this is where I want to be, and it's nice to be outside, and don't have to wear a tie to work, and it's just a nice way to be and raise a family, and I can't imagine being anywhere else.
And you're surrounded by all these beautiful colors this morning, right?
That's right.
Every single day. So you guys actually have more than 50 varieties is what you grow here, right?
That's correct.
So, which is a lot. And I know that you and I were talking a little bit during the commercial break about what the process is like for making sure that these are as close to pristine condition as possible for when the festival starts at the beginning of April. So once this ends at the, April 30th, do you guys start that process of planning for next year, and how does that work?
Yeah, we do. It is a year-round deal. We start planning our next field. We have to rotate the fields to keep away from disease and other things. So we'll be in a different spot next year. We'll probably be right over there.
Okay.
So as soon as the flowers are bloomed out, we go out and hand top them. We pull all the blooms off so that the energy from the plant goes down to the bulb, because we're trying to grow more bulbs down under the soil.
Yeah.
After that, then we let everything kind of dry out and take its course. And probably about second week of June, we go out and harvest the bulbs. Then we bring them over and process them. We clean them, size them, and then we put them in a room that has big fans and everything, and we keep them cool and dry until end of September or first part of October, and then we go out and lay out our field and plant again for the next year.
And do you hope that, or I guess when people come back every single year, there's always going to be something different? So what we see out in the fields right now off in the distance is not what folks are going to see next year. It's going to be a completely different layout of what the tulips are?
Well, yes. I mean, we try to do something a little different. We put different pathways through the field, or we'll do different color combinations. There's a lot to it, and that's a big process too. It's just trying to figure out how we want to lay it out so it looks a little bit different. And then here in the garden, we try to do a little bit different each year.
Okay. Our
production manager handles that. They hand plant all of this stuff in the garden. Has been all hand planted. Wow. They lay it out with like a chalk line, and I mean, it's very precision, and it turns out great every year. We just try to do something new every year.
One question that I was asking you this morning is I understand that peak bloom was delayed a little bit this year. Is that weather dependent? And you're never going to have peak bloom for all the tulips all at the same time.
Right. Well, yeah, here we try to plant early, middle, and late varieties so that we can make sure we've got something going on for the whole festival. Mm-hmm. So you're never going to see 100% bloom in the whole field, because there are some that are getting toward the end of their cycle and some that are just beginning.
Okay.
But I would say right now is about as close to peak, and you're going to see this weekend, you're going to see as many flowers in bloom as probably any week this year. And that's pretty par for the course. Mid-month is usually what we tell people. If somebody says, if I can only come one day, we usually tell them come midweek, mid-month, so that there's not as many people and all the flowers are out.
And it just so happens that the weather's going to be fantastic this weekend. So how about that?
Yes, so that's great. So get here early, because we're going to be rocking and rolling out here.
The crowds are going to be busy.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite color?
I like the red ones. There's a variety called Lollybella that's probably my favorite. It's a real intense red.
Is that any of the ones behind us here?
Yeah.
Ish. Probably over there.
There in the middle is Lollybellas. They're real intense red, and they're an earlier variety, so they're just about all the way. They're just about as max.
Almost right there. Awesome. Yep. Steve, thank you so much. A pleasure to meet you, and thank you for what you do and allowing us to be here today. What a treat this is to see all this color up close.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's been a real treat. Ladies, do we have a favorite color? Which ones do you guys like?
I want to get a peek of what are they called? The Lollybellas? the one that Steve just mentioned.
Something like
His favorite variety.
Oh yeah, okay.
The deep
Maybe we can
red.
try to show those for our next hit.
I would
okay.
like to see those, and then I will make a decision of my favorite color.
I think I like the orange. I
Okay.
think my decision's made.
Orange. I gotta say, this is just breathtaking. And, you know, we put in a little call for some sunshine to come out here, and guess what?
Here it is.
We answered that call, right?
If you could do that every day for the month of April, I'd really appreciate it.
I'll put in a good word for you.
Thank you. Thank
this
you.
is Rachael Sparwasser. Did I say that right?
You did.
Okay. One of the owners here at Tulip Town. Thank you for having us this morning.
Thanks for being
this
here.
Is so much
it's been
fun.
really special having you guys. Love it.
It is
Thank
so much
you.
fun being here and to see all these beautiful colors behind us. We know that the gates officially opened at 9 o'clock this morning.
They did, yep.
So we're starting to see some visitors pass through, and of course they're taking some selfies and
Of course.
beautiful pictures and all that.
Lots of Instagrammable moments here.
You guys have been part of the ownership for this place for about 6 years now. Does this ever get old?
It doesn't. You know what? Every year, because we're doing new things every year. The field moves. We rotate the crop. It looks different.
Yeah.
We're planting different varieties, and it's just for 30 days. So it's absolutely beautiful. And then the rest of the 11 months, we're just excited about making it happen again. So no, it doesn't get
never
old.
gets old.
I get a little tired. Come April 30th, I'm a little tired, but it never gets old.
What do you most enjoy about this particular type of year when the Tulip Festival kicks off on April 1st? You have that 30-day run and you get tons of people coming through to snap the pictures and see the colors. What most do you get out of that time frame this time of year?
I think people just coming and enjoying, you know, like I said, what we've been working on, seeing the smiles on their faces. People celebrate special moments. We had an engagement here last night. We have a gender reveal here tomorrow. People choose to come to Tulip Town to share special moments with us, and just for the day-to-day, you know, they just want something to come up, celebrate spring, and enjoy. And so seeing the joy on their faces, we meet people from all over the country. Most years we get visitors from all 50 states and from multiple countries around the world. So just to get to interact from people from all different backgrounds, all different cultures, it's really cool. Tulips are, you know, a way for people to come and set aside any differences and just enjoy some time on the farm and in the beauty of Skagit County. So it's great.
Not only do you get the color, but we have like the birds chirping out here this morning.
I know.
It's just so relaxing, and you know, you smell the grass as they were kind of cutting the grass this morning, which is always very nice. You had said something to me just a few minutes ago before we started the interview, and that you guys allow dogs here, which I don't think a lot of people know, right?
We do, yeah. Starting 3 years ago, we started allowing our furry dog friends here. A couple of rules: they just need to be well behaved and on a leash. But otherwise, we love to have dogs come. They'd never been done on a farm here in Tulip during the Tulip Festival before. We began noticing that people were bringing their dogs, hoping that they were going to be able to bring them in, and then when no farm was letting them, the puppies were ended up sitting in the car. Yeah, and that's no fun.
No.
And so we thought, why not? Just because it's never been done before, that's never stopped us. So let's try something new, and it's been wildly successful. It has been probably my daughter will say that's the best thing, the best change that we've brought to Tulip Town is just having all the puppies here. It's really great.
Yeah, because you see smiles from the people because they're looking at all these tulips, but then you also see the smiles because of the dogs. They're just happy to be around puppies, right?
Yes.
Which is just amazing. As I mentioned towards the top, we're expecting some really nice weather this weekend, which makes this upcoming weekend a really great time to stop by here. You guys get very busy at times. So for anybody who's coming up this weekend, what tips do you have for them in kind of navigating, getting here and just enjoying the process as easy as possible? I
would say come planning to just enjoy the journey. There is going to be some traffic. We are a small ag community, which makes our experience really authentic, but we also don't have massive roadways for people. So there is going to be some traffic, but it's going to be worth it once you get here. So plan to bring some good tunes, a good playlist, and have some patience. The earlier you get here, the better. We do have a few people waiting when we open at 9 a.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, but it's way easier to get here if you can be here first thing. So our gates open at 9. We're ready to greet guests. So that would be my word of wisdom if you're going to come on the weekend. Weekdays are obviously a little bit quieter. Next week's weather looks really good too. So if it doesn't work for you to come this weekend, come one day next week.
One thing I was curious about, and we arrived here during the 7 o'clock hour this morning before the gates actually opened, is there was some workers that were out in the tulips.
Yes.
Even before we started. What are they doing during that process?
So every morning our crew is out here hand picking our bouquets. So here at Tulip Town, every single one of our bouquets is picked by our field crew. We only sell our Tulip Town bouquets here at Tulip Town.
Wonderful.
They're also going through, and for any variety that's been bloomed out, they're hand topping those blooms. And so every stem here at Tulip Town is touched by our crew, whether they're hand picking them or hand topping them.
Amazing.
And with millions of bulbs in the field, they're
That's
busy.
A lot of work.
They're busy every day. They're
work.
amazing. They've been with us for a number of years, and they are experts at what they do. And we're super thankful for the time and energy and expertise that they bring every day.
So one of the questions that I was asking Steve Johnson, your farm manager here last hour, is, as a guy who's surrounded by tulips all the time, do you have a favorite? And he said these, which are called the Lalibellas.
Yep.
And I was asking Tyra and Hannah, who are hosting the show this morning, do you guys have a favorite? And Tyra said, I want to see the Lalibellas before I make a decision on what my favorite is. So, Tyra, these are the Lalibellas here, which is that beautiful red color. And you were telling me, Rachel, yours is kind of, a purple tone?
I really like the purples. So I like the light and dreamy, which are the lighter purples over here, the deep purple rock. Purple's my favorite color. So I tend to transition. I tend to be drawn to the purple, but just like children, when you own a tulip farm, it's really hard to pick a favorite. Kind of depends on what's blooming that day and what kind of strikes me. There's so many great varieties to choose from. We have almost 50 varieties here in the field.
Which is just mind-boggling.
Lots of options.
Yes. And I love the ones that kind of have the two-tone to them, whether it's, a combination of like the red and yellow, which I know that we had kind of towards the entrance there. That's what I think is probably kind of fun for you as an owner is obviously you're getting so many different types of people coming here to maybe see this for the first time, or maybe it's an annual tradition where they bring their families up with the kids and that sort of thing. And everybody has a different favorite.
Yes. Yep. It's great. There's so many to choose from, different sizes, different shapes. A lot of times people get here and they'll see like a double bloom tulip or a ruffle tulip or a fringe tulip, and they didn't even realize tulips came in that shape or variety. And so it's really fun for people. Even if every year we're introducing new varieties, so even if you come year after year, you're going to see something this year that you've never probably seen before.
Okay, so a really important question. We talked about how people will come out here and take photos. Have you perfected the perfect tulip selfie?
Well, I have teenagers.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I have teenagers. So taking selfies is kind of, a thing in my home. And so I've had to perfect it, not just because of the tulips, but just because of the age of the children that I'm currently raising.
Gotcha.
But yes, the answer is yes.
Probably plenty of them, right? Just because there's so much color.
Of them. Yes.
Well, it has been such a joy being here this morning. Again, thank you for having us out here. And thank you for what you do for the community in spreading that joy every single April during the Skagit Valley Tulip Festival. What a wonderful place.
Thank you. It's our privilege.
It's just been absolutely wonderful. So that's it from Tulip Town this morning. Before we wrap up a little bit later this morning, I'm going to take in more of this color and relax with Rachel a little bit more and just enjoy this sunshine, ladies. Are you jealous?
Yes.
So
I
jealous.
have to say I am.
And I was just thinking, what a fun job to be out there every day just surrounded by the tulips.
She said, they say you have a fun job.
I do.
Yeah.
It's the best. I mean, to get to come to work and do this every single day. Yeah.
Not too bad, ladies, I gotta
It's
say.
not too bad.
You should go into the tulip business.
Absolutely. Hey, sign us up. Is she hiring?
Okay.
Steve.
Thank you so much,
Will do.
Steve.